Behold, the Minecraft frog made completely out of fuse beads, and also mini fuse beads. Hey guys, you're watching QDCrafts. In today's video, you're going to be learning how to make a Minecraft frog using MIDI and mini beads. There are two versions, an easy version and the hardcore mini bead version. I'm using a mix of Perler and Art Cow beads for the MIDI beads. These 5mm beads are the regular Perler bead sizes, and then I'll show you a hardcore mini bead version which uses the 2.6mm mini beads from Art Cow. As always, I have all of the links to my supplies in the description below, and don't forget to use code QDCrafts on the Art Cow bead website for a discount. As you guys are placing your beads on the pegboards, you can pause the video at any point here so that you can follow along slowly. I know it can be a lot when you see all of the pieces already assembled on the board, so here you can kind of follow along with me. The first pegboard is done. All of these pieces will make the frog's main body as well as its eyes. And then for the second pegboard, I'm making the frog's limbs and its bum. In Minecraft, there are three variants of the frogs. There are temperate frogs. These are the orange ones. They are the most common type that you will see. I would have thought it would be the green one, but those are actually the cold frogs. So they are not even naturally spawning in Minecraft. You have to breed the frogs in a cold biome for them to appear. And then there are the warm frogs that are all white. If you've seen my videos before, you'll know about one of the methods called the masking tape method, where I use painter's tape to tape down all of the beads, and then I flip it over so that it can get off of the pegboard and I can iron the beads that are all stuck together pretty well. They are not going to move anywhere. For a matte finish on the beads, I use parchment paper. My iron is set on the polyester setting, a middle heat setting. You don't want it to be too hot because that risks over ironing all of the pieces, and you'll know it's over ironed when you see that the holes are really small in all of the beads or completely closed up. Then I add some more tape to my tape rectangles so that it's easier to peel off, and then I can put it aside to be used for future projects. Get another piece of parchment paper on top, and then on the same heat setting, iron again, and I have ironed this for about a minute and a half on each side. I just go around in a circular motion, making sure that I'm not staying too long in one position so that the pieces are all evenly ironed. This is how thick the beads are, around 0.4 centimeters. Then once I'm done ironing, I put a heavy book on top as it cools to keep all of the pieces flat. Now for the direct ironing method, this is where you place a parchment paper directly on top of the beads that are still on the pegboard, and then you iron away. So I'm using the same heat setting on polyester and the same parchment paper, and just slowly going in a circular motion, making sure that I'm not lifting my iron too much, because sometimes the paper will stick to the iron and then that will lift the beads that are attached to the paper. So you want to just keep the iron stuck on that piece of paper and not move it up until all of the beads are fused. Once it's off of the pegboard, it's a lot easier, so you don't have to worry too much, and then you just make sure all of the beads are fused together and put the book on top to keep it flat. Now we are going to peel, one of my favorite, most satisfying parts. Now for the moment of truth, assembling the pieces together. Let's make the main body first. Grab the face of the frog, this little smile, and then we'll just click things together. It's really satisfying if you ironed it the perfect amount. If you iron it too much, they might not even be able to stick together. And if you iron too little, you just won't hear the satisfying click, and it will be kind of loose. Alright, have fun assembling! To get these hind legs to be more sturdy and to stay in place, I'm going to be using some Art Cal acrylic rods. These are really flexible plastic rods that really help with my 3D projects because they connect the pieces together perfectly. But if you don't have these, you can check out the links in the description, or you could use toothpicks as an alternative. I just like the acrylic rods because they're transparent so that you don't really notice them inside of the project. Alright guys, so that is how you assemble the Minecraft frog. Isn't it the cutest mob that I've ever made? I say that with every mob that I make every time I make a new one, but this one is truly the cutest. It's on the same tier as the axolotl. I think it's one of the coolest ones that I have in my collection, and I hope you like it too. I have these two other variants, the white one and the orange frog, and the orange one, the temperate frog, is the hardcore version. So if you want a bit of a challenge, you can grab some mini beads, which are 2.6 millimeters in diameter, and then grab your mini bead pegboard to try to make this design. It's very difficult because mini beads are very fragile. They're hard to iron because you could easily over iron them, which is why I have them set on the lowest heat setting. This is the silk setting on my iron, and there are really fragile parts in each of the pieces. For connecting the legs, you will notice that I don't need to use any sort of rod to put them together. I just need to use the beads in the pieces themselves. So that's the difficult part. You'll see how I'm assembling it, how hard it is to put the pieces together. So this is the hardcore mode if you really want to try it. The ironing process is pretty much the same. You just have to make sure the holes are still visible. Put that book on top so that they are flat, and then we will assemble. This piece here is very fragile because it's just one line of beads that you have to put through this hole, and it's quite a long distance you have to go. So you have to be very careful. You have to, go slowly, don't go too fast because you could easily snap the beads and they'll fall off of the piece. But once you do get it in, then you're pretty much safe. Oh no, wait, no, you're not safe. You have the second piece here that has even more fragile parts. These long lines of beads here are just the replacements for the rods that you would have used. So we're going to be able to stick the other pieces through those beads so that you don't even need to use a rod to connect the legs. This temperate frog was my second prototype. I really wanted to make a frog where you didn't need to use any sort of glue or even rods to connect everything together. Everything is connected with the beads, but the only downside is that you can't move the front legs. It's not as cute when you can't move anything. It's just a stationary frog. You can't make it walk like you can with the ones that have the rods in them. This is the hardcore version, so it's more of a challenge to see if you can make this using beads. But I would definitely recommend just making the regular midi bead version. It's bigger, and then you can move its little front legs. Now for the most difficult part, it's attaching the legs through the beads that are protruding out of the bottom piece of the frog. It's difficult because if you snap that bead off, then it's over. You have to redo that bottom part of the frog. You have to re-iron the beads together, which is why if you just used rods to stick them in, it's a lot easier, but this is just the hardcore mode, so you have to challenge yourself sometimes to see if you can create this hardcore frog. I put the feet of the frog the wrong direction. It should be facing inward, like this. But it went outward, so let's just say this is the sports mode of the frog. I actually made these frogs last year, at the end of the year. It took me so long to think about the design for the temperate frog because I had to eliminate the option of using rods to attach the legs, but it was actually pretty easy once you see the pattern come together. But when you're making it from nothing and you're just looking at a picture of the Minecraft, it took quite a long time. So I made this first prototype, the white frog, which is from the warm biomes, and I didn't like this design that much. I couldn't figure out a really good way to make the hind legs. They fell apart really easily, which you will see later. But it was a very cute start. I could already see the potential of this being one of my cutest Minecraft mobs that I added to my collection. This was where I designed the first eye pieces. They are shaped like the letter I too, and I really like that part of the design because it holds them together very well, and it just looks very cute with the protruding eyes of the frog. The hind legs though, they were really tricky because you can see it's not like the front legs where you just put them on the side. There's a little bit of the hind legs wrapping around the back, the bum of the frog. So I made this first design that was really fragile. The legs just fell off anytime you touched it, which I did not like. So this was prototype number 1, and then from there I modified the design to make prototype number 2, which was the temperate orange frog that you saw earlier. Yeah, we don't like this one. I'm sorry, white frog, but we don't like. I'll make him again with. See, look, as I was about to, both his legs fell off. Oh gosh. I was playing around with this frog. I moved its legs up like this, and look what I just figured out this thing can do. This frog's got tricks. Dude's like, did you see that? Did you see that lightning? That was actually pretty cool. I've never seen lightning in Minecraft. Oh my gosh. Wait, this is kind of cool. That's really cool. My first thunderstorm. Oh my! Oh! It's on fire! I've gotten so many comments in the past asking me to make a Minecraft frog, and these are from a few years ago, so I don't even know if these guys are still subscribed. But if you are, thank you for this suggestion, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. I'm almost at 65,000 subscribers, which is crazy. Let me know in the comments below what Minecraft mob I should make next. Even if it takes 2 years, I might end up making a video of it. So leave a comment down below, make sure to like this video, and thank you to these amazing beaters for sharing their recreations of some of my projects. If you ever recreate any of my projects, especially if you make the Minecraft frog, I need to see it. I need you to send me a picture or share it on Instagram or TikTok, whatever. Just tag me at QDCrafts and I'll give it a thumbs up and I will feature it in one of my future videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with another QDCraft. Bye!